So yesterday, Facebook purged over 800 different accounts, many of them individual accounts with millions of followers. And many of these were not even like Donald Trump supporting accounts. Many of these were like the Anti-Media or Free Thought Project, I think it's called, where they're vaguely conspiratorial and sometimes post like, anti-vaxxer stuff and things like this. But they provide essentially establishment skeptical media and content, and they've just been tanked. Now, Anti-Media had something like 2.1 million followers. Free Thought Project had millions as well. I mean, these are massive pages, and I'm really, really worried about this because this is just before the midterms, of course, and pages like Anti-Media are going to publish all kinds of content that are going to be against all of the candidates involved, because their view of the world is broadly anarchist, as in anti-hierarchical, anti-establishment, to hold them to account, not because they necessarily want to destroy them. But these are pages that probably would have published some useful information, even if some of what they publish is total nonsense. So Free Thought Project went to Twitter and posted, "After 5 years of building fans, Facebook has officially unpublished our page with 3.1 million, so we can't post on it anymore. This is truly an outrage and we're devastated. We will do everything we can to recover our page and fight back." Well, I hope they can, and I hope that there is a bit of media outrage that is raised about this. I mean, I know that there are people in the media thinking, well, these were probably our competitors, which is why it's alternative outlets like Zero Hedge that I have to use to talk about this. But come on, let's be real. This is a real problem, isn't it? This is something they're just deleting inconvenient people from the internet. And I don't think that's the way that these things should be done, especially when it's millions of people have just effectively been deafened to what those people have to say now. Is that really a right and a privilege that Facebook should have? Should they be able to tell you that you are not allowed to hear something that didn't violate the terms and conditions? The Anti-Media had their Facebook page deleted with their 2.1 million followers, as well as 800 pages and accounts. The purge of alt media is upon us. Well, I mean, come on, it's just your page with 2 million people on it. Oh wait, they suspended the Twitter account as well, in the same fucking day. Alex Jones style. I mean, come on. More Silicon Valley collusion. This has to stop. Facebook claims that domestic actors, so citizens, people living in the United States, have been creating fake pages. There is no such thing as a fake page on Facebook, is there? They're all Facebook pages. It's not a false Facebook page. It's not that it's fake, it's that it's saying things you don't like. But they're creating fake pages and accounts to attract people with shocking political news. Oh, well, I mean, if people are being attracted by shocking political news, then isn't CNN's coverage of the latest disaster a bit of a problem? Isn't the mainstream media coverage of terrorism a bit of a problem? That is totally subjective and is a license for them to censor whenever and however they want. I mean, they're not even claiming that they broke the terms of service. It's not that they did anything wrong, it's that Facebook doesn't like them. As we hear from Craig Silverman, Facebook has removed X amount in the US that have consistently broken our rules against spam and coordinated inauthentic behavior. That's good to know. I mean, they claim that they're creating fake followers. I mean, I'll just take the word for it. I'll just take Facebook's word for that. I mean, when would Facebook ever lie? When would Silicon Valley ever lie to its users? I focused on Free Thought Project and the Anti-Media because they are not right-wing sites, at least not traditionally conservative sites. But obviously, large numbers of conservatives were just outright censored. And there are a lot of independent journalists and bloggers who have had their pages tanked too. People who are not necessarily partisan one way or another, but are in fact just reporting as they see fit. And that, in my opinion, is an invaluable service. People like Tim Pool, in fact. But Tim Pool is, as far as I'm aware, okay. But it's people like Tim Pool, people doing the same kind of thing, and, to varying degrees of success as their talents dictate. This is terrible. This is fucking awful. But it is completely expected. As you may remember, 2 days ago, Breitbart leaked the Good Censor. Leaked Google briefing admits abandonment of free speech for safety and civility. As in, what they consider to be safe and civil is worth censoring you for. And because these companies are run by far leftists, they're particularly sensitive in these regards. So in this briefing, Google say that the American tradition of free speech on the internet is no longer viable. That's their opinion. I mean, they're just Google. They basically control the internet at this point, and they think free speech is no longer viable, and they have the power to fucking censor you. And so they will. I mean, they even called it the good censor. I mean, unbelievable. That's what the Catholic fucking Church would call it if they controlled the internet. But they admit that they themselves and other tech platforms now control the majority of online conversations and have undertaken a shift towards censorship in response to unwelcome political events around the world. Do we need to lay it out any more fucking clearly? They are manipulating online conversations for the sake of their own political goals, world fucking wide. Donald Trump, please do something about Silicon Valley. The Fifth Estate has far too much power at this point. They are way too politically necessary. They know that they are. They know they control these narratives. They know that they filter what you see in your content, in your stream. They suppress hashtags. They censor pages. They will openly delete one of the most famous bloggers, crazy wacko bloggers, admittedly, in the world, all in one fucking day from every platform, almost. Seriously, we need to do something about this. And libertarians, something has to be done. And given that there is a Republican administration controlling all three branches of the government in the United States now, I think that we are actually in a position, the anti-censorship movement, and that includes many different factions, many different dissident ideologies, many different various political parties, ranging from the lowest to the greatest. But the free speech movement, the people who actually want free speech, I think now is the time to take action against Silicon Valley. Now is the time to press the Trump administration about this censorship. Now is the time to press literally every public figure about censorship. Let them declare themselves. I'm either for censorship or I'm against it. Let's hear how people stand. Let's actually have this conversation. If only there was some kind of anti-censorship movement that we could talk about to get this conversation rolling.